Wow. Black men aren't the ones hyping up white women. Once again, this is another classic false assertion created by black women that's placed off on the men, and then we're asked to defend it, right? You know, you're asking somebody to defend a statement or a practice that they didn't even claim to create. First of all, when we talk about dating non-black women, sometimes we get lazy and we're not clear, alright? Black men aren't talking about dating white women. A lot of us are talking about dating interracially, and a lot of us are talking about dating black women from different countries. And the whole overlying point of talking about this is trying to find a new mindset. Now, unfortunately, when we have these conversations, we say white woman because it kind of symbolizes black men interracially dating. Unfortunately, we don't understand what it symbolizes, so we key in too much on white women, and I hate it because it's low-key giving praise to white women, and they don't really need it. It does do too much gassing of the egos. So when we have these conversations, you know, it's kind of like, you know, giving somebody credit and they're taking credit, but in reality we're not really talking about them. At least black men aren't, right? Now, like I said before, a couple of us may get lazy and not clearly articulate our viewpoints on dating non-black women, so we may say, oh, but the white woman will do this and the white woman will do that, and it's kind of a quick way to symbolize something greater. Alright, so when we have those conversations, we have to keep that in mind. And to be real, like I said before, we understand the white women that approach us, so we don't place them on a pedestal, right? Another black man will be the first one to knock off any black dude placing some white chick on a pedestal. You don't even need black women to do that. Us as black men will do that for you, because we know how to act, we know how to get down. Like I said before, we don't place white women or any other woman on a pedestal. The only reason why it seems to be like, you know, certain portions of black men gravitate towards white women is because at the end of the day, the white woman will eventually give in and follow whatever plan that man has. You have to understand they're coming from a different culture. It's still taboo for them to be outside the whole realm of a family. I don't care how much of a hoe or how much of a flip she is. It's still taboo to be an older white woman, you know, who's really not involved. Right? It's a little bit different. If somebody said 30-year-old single unmarried black woman, it's kind of the typical definition of what black women are. But, you know, if you said it about a white chick, it's kind of like, oh, you're unmarried, it's taboo. Well, you can't be part of this social group, you can't be part of this social network because you don't have a husband. So the fear of being outside of the family is a whole lot greater. So you may see a lot of black men with, you know, white women simply because at the end of the day she will do whatever. So she will be the doormat. I'm not gonna lie, she will be the doormat. And this is from personal experience in terms of men in my family. They will do whatever because they really don't want to be outside the realm of a family, because it's kind of taboo. I know the whole idea of family is on the decline, but if you think about it, it's affecting the black community more than anybody else. So for a lot of different races and, you know, cultures, it's still pretty much a taboo and a no-no to be older and to be outside the realm of a family. Like, you know, your family's tearing their hair out if, you know, Susie May is approaching 30 and she has no one to be with. Right? So that's what you see. That's what's going on. It's not about us praising them and putting them on a pedestal and giving them different standards. At the end of the day, they're more willing to submit to whatever we say or whatever we want out of them because they don't want to be outside the realm of a family. And you also have to factor in, there is no double dipping. There will never be a mass type of movement in terms of non-black women dating black men, simply because it's a pick a side. Non-black men aren't going to compete for their women if they're dating black men. Most black men who are really interracial dating will tell you this. That's why if it's an Indian girl, Mexican girl, whatever, and she says she dates black men, more than likely that's all she dates. Because their men aren't necessarily going to compete with us. So there is a level of, this is my last shot, let me get it right. And that's what's going on. But it has nothing to do with praise. That's why if black women open up their eyes, they'll understand what's going on. I'm sorry, if you're a dude and a woman tells you, yo, I'm going to submit to everything you say, right? And in my mind, I know that she really has no other alternative. Yo, it's a win-win situation for me. As opposed to dealing with certain populations within black womanhood who are more than willing to challenge who you are, because it's really not a big issue for her to be outside of a family. Or at least on the outside. Maybe on the inside, on the personal emotional level it is, but in terms of how we get down and how we act, it's really nothing. So anyways, I would just really encourage black women to explore what's really going on, instead of just acting like, we're just going out chasing white women and all non-black women, because all they're doing is boosting the ego of these women. And they're not understanding that a lot of these women don't have a choice, and they're willing to compete with you because their men don't want to compete for them. Alright? So y'all take it easy. God bless.